On today's Solo Sunday news, CM Punk wins big at WWE Saturday night's main event. Jade Cargill is your new WWE Women's Champion. The road begins for John Cena's final ever opponent, and Jey Uso continues to tease a heel turn. Hello, and welcome to WhatCulture Wrestling, the Solo Sunday news. Myself, Andrew Pollard. I hope you're good. I hope you're well. I hope your weekend is going as well as possible. A lovely Wrexham win on Friday night, followed by a cracking, succulent Chinese meal last night, means my weekend's ticking along very nicely. And someone else whose weekend has been ticking along nicely is CM Punk. Yes, your new World Heavyweight Champion. Saturday night's main event last night had fans kind of wondering whether WWE would actually crown a new champion, or maybe there'd be some sort of shenanigans which would lead to some sort of non-finish that would keep the World Heavyweight title vacant. But no, instead, there were no shenanigans. It was just a 20-minute back and forth where CM Punk eventually put Jey Uso away after two GTSs. Now, WWE is touting Punk as a seven-time world champion. That's kind of a little hazy, I guess, as it's a second time as this world heavyweight champion. Three times with the old big gold world heavyweight title, two times as a WWE champion, throw in ECW as well, ECW world champion. Then there's obviously a two-time AEW champion, ROH champion, hey, OVW champion, or we go back even to the Mid-South, IWA Mid-South days. But either way, CM Punk is now your world heavyweight champion, and that reign is already longer than his last one, which was, of course, brought to an end abruptly by Seth Rollins after just a couple of minutes. Now, the big question is, what is next for CM Punk? How long does he keep this for? And is it Bron Breakker to be the one to take that title from him? Let us know in the comments what you think about that. I mean, as someone who is pulling for CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 42, I'm thinking Punk doesn't have that title for too long. Maybe through into the end of the year, possibly drops at the Royal Rumble, and I'm sure, Elimination Chamber is in Chicago next year, and that's how you get to Punk versus Cody at Mania. But that is me spitballing. And then also, I mean, as well, there's Cody and Randy Orton that's kind of been dangling for a while. Drew McIntyre should be getting yet another rematch against Cody. Last night, Cody retained the world title there, the WWE title against Drew in, I guess, shady circumstances, hitting McIntyre with DDT onto the WWE title, then pinning him after a crossroads. And speaking of Cody, WWE has released footage, because of course they have, of Cody Rhodes putting the belt around CM Punk's waist backstage, complete with a photo as well of Cody, Punk, Ricky Saints, and Jade Cargill with their titles, obviously leading to the ever fun Tony Funboard sort of comments and responses, because hey, of course people are going to comment with that. Whereas CM Punk and Jey Uso went 20 minutes, and Cody and Drew got, I believe, around 19 minutes. It was far more straightforward for Jade Cargill defeating Tiffany Stratton in barely 5 minutes. Following on from SmackDown, Jade targeted Tiffany's leg, wearing Tiffy out, then hitting a couple of power bombs, and the Jaded for the 1, 2, 3. In a, extremely dominant display for this new heel Jade Cargill. For Tiffany, though, that brings her reign to an end after 302 days. She cashed in on Nia Jax back in January. And for me, it was the right time to pull a title change. I'm still not sure whether Jade is, ready for that spot, but it's now down to her to take that ball and run with the opportunity. Also, it nicely sets the stage for Bianca Belair and Jade at some point down the line. Whenever Bianca is ready to return, she's been out injured since WrestleMania 1. WrestleMania 1? That's a long time. Since WrestleMania 41, where she broke a finger. This marks the first piece of singles gold in WWE for Jade Cargill, and it brings a little bit of freshness, I guess, to the SmackDown Women's division, a division that certainly needs a little bit of work right now. A division that would benefit from an NXT call-up or two. Maybe Jordan Grace, maybe he pulled the trigger on Fatal Influence. Lainey Reed is still obviously very raw, but very promising. But yes, Jade Cargill is the new WWE Women's Champion. That was one of two title changes that took place at Saturday night's main event. I already mentioned there about CM Punk. I mentioned the WWE title match with Drew and Cody. The other match of the night, it was Dominic Mysterio retaining the Intercontinental title against Penta and Rusev. And while some have speculated that Dirty Dom could wind up facing John Cena at Survivor Series later this month, we now know how John Cena's final opponent will be decided. As announced last night in a video package that was narrated by Cena himself, the November 10th edition of Raw will see the start of a 16-man The Last Time Is Now a tournament. The winner of that earning the spot to be Cena's final ever opponent at Saturday night's main event on December 13th. Why is December 13th jumping out to me? That's a date that rings him. Wrexham versus Watford. That's why. Always with the football. Anyways, this tournament will feature Raw, SmackDown, and NXT talent. And Cena even mentioned we might see wrestlers who don't even work for the company. Considering how he mentioned, talked about talents he's been linked with, had history with previously in his career. For me, I'm thinking maybe we'll get Matt Cardona here, the former Zack Ryder. I know, I mean, some people have suggested Adam Copeland, Edge. I mean, I even saw some people mentioning Hiroshi Tanahashi. I mean, I'd love to see it, but you're not getting either one of those. Edge is contracted to AEW, and Tanahashi, just no. He's not entering a tournament like this and not winning. And that's the point. What's the payoff? Like Tanahashi loses in like the semifinals or something. I think we all know Gunther is the odds-on favorite here to be John Cena's final opponent. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to maybe see Joe Hendry in this tournament too, I guess. Maybe this is where you debut Oba Femi on the main roster. But again, for me, if I'm debuting Oba, I want dominating people. I want him winning. Something like this, again, I can't see past anyone other than Gunther. Though you could still make it work, still make Oba look like a beast in defeat. But then, do I trust WWE Creative right now? Maybe, I guess, is the best we'll say on that. And finally, wrapping things up today by spinning back to our first story. And that loss to CM Punk last night has seen Jey Uso seemingly continue down a dark path, continue to tease a full-blown heel turn, or continue to show a harder edge, I guess. By that, I mean, he posted on Instagram after the match a screenshot of Punk holding the title up on the turnbuckle there. Jay's at ringside on the floor looking up at him, and he captioned that with "You all win," complete with a middle finger emoji, which I'm not sure if I can actually do that, but there we go. Have at it. But yeah, Jey Uso is clearly not a happy puppy. Also, I mean, he was visibly upset after the match too, taking off his knee pads all very aggressively. As for the match itself, yeah. So, shall we say, I guess the best thing I can say about that. Now, I love me some CM Punk. I enjoy me some Jey Uso, but that match, I mean, being honest, it's probably the worst on the show. I mean, the Tiffy and Jade match was only 5 minutes, but that did what it needed to do. That was a dominant display for Jade. But yeah, Punk and Jey Uso, not great, especially when it's your main event of Saturday night's main event. The chemistry just seemed a little off at times. There was one real bad spot where Punk was going for a neck breaker on Jay, and Jay, I don't know how to explain it. He just he went too far around and then just slumped to the mat, and Punk kind of gave him a little bit of a snug kick, and they did the spot again. But yes, Jey Uso once again teases a more Bloodline-esque version of Jey Uso, which, I mean, to be fair, I can kind of get behind that. I'm not sure we'll get a full-on heel turn, mind, as, Jey still continues to be incredibly popular, still sells a whole bunch of merchandise. And with that brings today's news, a slightly slow news day, to a close. Be sure to check out the other excellent video that is floating around here somewhere. And hey, cheap plug here, Mick Foley style. Keep your eyes on the main WhatCulture YouTube channel for an interview I recently did with Kevin Smith. It's going to be up there soon. That was a whole lot of fun, man. I'm a big Kev Smith nerd. But yes, this has been WhatCulture Wrestling, the solo Sunday news. Be well, stay safe, and I will catch you next weekend. No, I won't, because I'm off next Sunday. I've just realized the rare Sunday off next weekend. But I'll catch you the one after that. Be well.